Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a quick look at mana. Before we do, we always look at Bitcoin so we know what's going on. Now is probably the most important time to understand what Bitcoin is doing. We'll just look at some quick couple of key indicators. Obviously, starting off the fact what we are having, lower highs essentially and previously lower lows. We did actually hit, the same low twice recently, and now the price is on the increase. So potentially the bottom is in at 46,600. But we'll find out here soon. What we need is this next high to be closer to 50,000, if not higher. We need to get a one-day candlestick to close over 50 and we'll be in much better shape. That would break this trend officially, and we might see a continuation of the upside based on that sentiment. And a lot of altcoins are going to do very well if we can break over 50. That's the immediate milestone. Obviously, we want to see 52,300 being broken, the next major Fibonacci retracement level, but we'll take what we can get. One last thing too, we are above the 200-day simple moving average on the one-day chart, and this is a very good sign that's kind of working as a potential support. It's been tested about 4 or 5 times in a row now, and the price still holds above. So all good stuff there in that sense. So we're looking good. Moving on to mana, and just before we do, I just want to throw this out there. I love teaching people how to trade, right? That's my goal, my purpose here. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, of course. I hope you learn a thing or two here today. If you want more of an in-depth dive, maybe a trading academy that I'm going to offer here soon as part of my premium membership, feel free to check that out. I'll have a website uploaded or ready to go. It's actually live now. I just want to kind of iron out some of the kinks before month end so we can have it all up and running for you. So be on the lookout for that here soon, but looking forward to getting to know you better. And thanks again for watching. So taking a look here at mana. Something to note though, and this is, I wouldn't say a major concern, but it's not great that the price is under the 50-day simple moving average. On the 200, or sorry, on the one-day chart rather, the 200 is trailing behind, of course, but generally speaking, when we see the price below the 50 on the one day, that can work as a resistance. We might see it have a little bit of trouble to break that. But again, I'm not super concerned with that because this is exuding the same characteristics as Bitcoin, right? We're seeing the same pattern on almost every single coin right now. And it's a very standard pattern. In other words, traditionally it'll break to the downside, right? For the most part, with it coming so high and being overextended, we would expect that to come down. Now, I don't foresee that happening based on the simple fact that Mana's got good quality, a good coin, and the likelihood of it breaking to the upside is higher than it would be to the downside based on the simple fact that we have a tremendous amount of volume, right? So if we take a look at the volume, let's take a look at that here. See so much volume really high up here. So ever since the price has been retracing, there's a strongest amount of volume accumulation, 470. So with the price action right now being around 320, it's extremely good value, and we're going to probably see a surge from that result. But just bear in mind too, the volume profile is telling us that the price is, the average volume is much higher in the recent past, ever since the price started to decline. Therefore, it's going to be a scenario that that could potentially work as a resistance channel. Okay, we will bridge that gap when we get there, but for right now, breaking this lower high, lower low pattern is extremely important. So we'll look at the 4-hour chart. In fact, let's do that right now and see what we can find. Now, unlike most other coins, Mana got hit a little harder than usual, right? So recently we saw this lower low, much lower than the previous. In other words, Bitcoin broke even, if you will, right at 46,600. And this essentially broke down even further. So it was nice to see that recovery, but unless this right here can be the next low, in other words, we can get the price to come up and break this plane here right at about 365, then we're going to be in a position where we're going to still be making lower highs and lower lows. So ultimately, we need to break some type of plan. It would be best if we can get somewhere above 380 and have that confidence back into Mana. Between now and then, I just recommend dollar cost averaging. Try not to put all of your eggs into this one basket because we don't truly know when it's going to take off. I do think it's going to hit its all-time high again and probably break that by year end. Less likely, but I would say in the next couple of months, we should see that happen. But between now and then, we got to protect our investment, right? We can't just put all our money into one place and expect it to go somewhere. You want to diversify and pick other coins too. Now, it's okay if you want to do a bunch of other coins that are like this, but it's important to diversify, okay? So please just take that away from here. If you're going to listen to anything I say, I just recommend diversification in any portfolio, especially crypto, okay? Now, looking at some of the more standard indicators, we can see the 50-day set moving average is working its way down. It's holding the price action down. So until we can break free of the 50, then we're going to be in this continuation of the downside. It'll probably break free from it soon, is my guess, because we might get a bounce off of 323, but it really just depends on what Bitcoin wants to do. If Bitcoin misbehaves today, Mana's going to misbehave too, right? It's pretty much doing the same thing, only worse, where we have this like descending channel instead of like a descending triangle. And that is essentially more likely to break to the upside, don't get wrong, but we don't know how much longer it'll continue. We could even see the price in the $2 range, plus or minus, eventually soon if it continues on the same path. I don't think it will, because again, once Bitcoin recovers, say we get Bitcoin to close in the one-day chart over 50,000, Mana will likely spring back and start making higher highs itself. That's the important thing. Important key takeaway here is that we want to see higher highs and higher lows from Mana. And if we don't see that, then we're just going to see the same behavior over and over and over again. Okay. Because unfortunately, people like you and I are not the ones controlling the market right now, right? It's those large investors that have deep pockets, and they are pushing the price action in the direction they want it to head. And the key is to understand what they're planning to do and to get ahead of the curve, or more so, get in when they get in and get out before they get out. And that's usually what some of these indicators help with. So in other words, the Ichimoku cloud is a good one for that. And it does look like that window is closing. So just say hypothetically you had taken a position yesterday, you would want to close and take in some profits, because you can see the lagging span is essentially intersected with the price action, conversion lines intersecting with the baseline, and those are two check marks to get the heck out, right? So ultimately, we don't have any good signs here according to the cloud. TD sequential telling us that we're at a 7. We might see a turnaround here though, however. That might be a good sign. In other words, the price is continuing down, and likely when you see a 7, 8, or a 9, the price should consolidate and or reverse and go back the direction it was coming. So we could see a price to the upside here. Again, all depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a nice strong candle right now at 7, so we get that reset and the price continues up closer to 50,000. We'll be in good shape for Mana. Okay, and it's kind of it's sucky that I have to kind of explain things this way. I wish it wasn't like all dependent on Bitcoin. Bitcoin has a bad day, we're all gonna have a bad day. It's just the way it goes. But the sooner you get on board with becoming a Bitcoin, I wouldn't say enthusiast, because you don't have to like Bitcoin. You just got to understand it, right? So if you're going to learn TA and go get deeper into this, understanding Bitcoin is the fundamental, foundational, way to be successful, if you will. Because when you can identify coins that break free from Bitcoin, those are the ones you want to invest in for the most part, and or understand what Bitcoin's doing, and go to the altcoin that's 2 to 3x of Bitcoin. Okay. Again, a lot of different things you can figure out, but for now, that's all I have for you here today. I do want to thank you so much for joining me. If you're not currently a member of my trading community, check that out. Of course, I'm actually going to roll out with a website here soon. In fact, the website is live. I'm just kind of ironing out some of the details here for the billing. And what it'll do is provide you with everything that I offer, of course, which is my Signal community and trading community. But more importantly, I actually have a trading academy I'm rolling out with too, for a bunch of in-depth videos helping you become a better trader. So all these things I'm truly passionate about. This is my full-time job. I just love helping people get better, more self-sufficient financially. So check that out. Thanks so much for your time. Look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day.